Right, it's 6:15 right here on Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja. Time for us to see what the headlines are saying this morning. Please note that these headlines are only read as published and have got nothing to do with Nigeria Info. So ensure that in your reactions, you have all the facts, the details, and every information you need, even while you react. This morning, we'll be going through The Nation, The Punch, The Guardian, The Vanguard, and The Daily Trust.
The front pages.
And let's get started with The Nation this morning. Has got this below extend old Hodalo. High hopes TCL as new board takes off. Tinubu embarks on working visit to Paris. Natasha's flurry of allegations won't distract Akpabio, says spokesman. Nightmare in Nirvana is another headline on the front page of The Nation this morning. And that's it on The Nation.
Page Punch newspaper, a cover story here said why Tinubu sacked Kyari and NPCL board and officials. Metal Point Sokoto warns against patronizing native doctors. Reps 5 million naira donation to the poor. You find deal of that story on the Punch News. Recall Asha slams Yahaya Bello as group defends Akpabio. Kaduna police officer threatens retaliation against Southerners over Uromi killings. 500,000 naira bill, Lagos hospital mom after death of pregnant woman. Race for Anambra governorship hits up as parties hold primaries. And finally, on the Punch newspapers this morning, Edo Tribunal throws out a court party's petition against Okpebolo. These and many more headlines you'd find on the Punch newspapers today.
Moving on to the front page of the Daily Trust. Turji, hunted by military, kills 11 farmers in Sokoto. Sultan to governors, treat all Nigerians as indigents. General Siga gains or regains freedom after 56 days in captivity. Tinubu, Buhari, others mourn as Galadiman Kanu buried. Why Tinubu sacked Kyari, dissolved NNPCL board. These and many more you find on the front page of the Daily Trust.
Of the Daily Trust?
Of the Daily Trust.
All right, let's move on out to the Guardian. The front page of the Guardian newspapers. A cover story here says Trump slams 14% tariff on Nigerian exports. FG orders immediate reopening of Independence Bridge. PDP rejects tribunal's verdict on Edo election. For Barra, others must be probed for alleged bombing of Rivers Assembly. That's according to the APC. Natasha alleges Akpabio, Bello are behind fake constituents. Recall move. Niger Delta communities threaten oil production shutdown over security vessel contracts. Falana advocates true rule of law, deplores rule of rulers in Nigeria. Why Nigeria must develop local value chains and improve production. And finally, on the Guardian newspapers, FG Itodo sign $174 million industrial development pact. These and many more headlines you'd find on the Guardian newspapers this morning.
And our final stop is the Vanguard. It's got this major headline: Edo Okpebolo wins at tribunal. Ihodolo heads to appeal court. Inflation, exchange rate, volatility, others pose significant risk. Kale. Tinubu jets out to Paris on 14-day working visit. Federal government boosts power generation by 2,000 megawatts in 2 years. Minister. More heads to roll in NNPCL subsidiaries as Ojulari assumes duty. Uromi killings. Residents allege indiscriminate arrests, extortion. Gridlock. Federal government reopens Independence Bridge as Lagosians spend hours in gridlock. I saw visuals of that gridlock, and Lord knows the
It
people
was
who
insane.
never got to work in good time. 2026 WCG Bafana may escape FIFA sanctions, according to attorney. And that's pretty much it on the front page of the Vanguard.
Time to get to your reactions. The numbers to call are 0700-951-0000, 0809-597-4869. On WhatsApp, it's 080-999-30137. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can join a conversation on there. The handle is at Nigeria Info Abuja. You can watch us live and drop your comments as well.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Itodo. Good morning, the angelic Gabriella. My name is Abakaro, calling you from Gwagwalada.
You're welcome.
A pregnant woman denied treatment because her family couldn't deposit 500,000. If one should ask where the humanitarian aspect of medical profession, it should be made mandatory that any medical facility, non-medical professional should reject every pregnant woman who reports to their facility when they are in labor. Medical profession is about saving lives. Showing humanitarian gesture. It should not happen again anywhere in Nigeria. How many families can boast of 500,000 in this current situation? It is about saving life first. The disease, pregnant woman, her life has been lost, and that unborn baby is a calamity in this current situation. That is my take. Thank you.
All right. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. We can hear you.
Yes, okay, madam. I greet the first caller. I greet all listeners.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah. About what happened in Edo State, I think people of Edo State entirely that should go for Thanksgiving. I believe that these people succeed inside their community and others that should go for special Thanksgiving. Now, the owner of the motor, that trailer, is it I don't know. That's the owner of the motor should go for questioning. Yes. How come that? Because it's a business. That's the owner of the company should make known to all Nigerians and call for questioning. So tell from our security, police should call him for questioning. Now,
Okay, hold on. We're trying to understand the point you're driving right now, because you mentioned going for Thanksgiving first. Can you hear me, Okwi?
Hello?
Okay, can you hear us?
Okay,
dear.
you can't hear us because I need to understand what direction he's going in terms of his thoughts. I was trying to make sense of his contribution this morning. So if you can call back to help us understand that, that will be great. It's 6:24 right here. We'll go on a quick breather. When we come back, we'll get back to more of your reactions to the headlines this morning.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Audio
Connection established.
Let's get back with some messages right now on the live feed on our YouTube and Facebook. Chukwugozie Honors watching live from Ebonyi State says PDP rejects tribunal judgment, heads to appeal court. What did they expect? We are having a one-party system in Nigeria. And Dr. Mrs. Onma Lebara in Owerri says we have all it takes to develop this country, but it's held ransom by some greedy and selfish people. Good leadership is a luxury in Nigeria, a country where evil has been allowed to bestride and ravage our polity unchallenged. Good leaders don't take advantage, intimidate, or diminish their subjects. A lost nation is one in which hungry and jobless people blindly support those responsible for the agony and misery. We will keep speaking out and telling the truth.
On YouTube, Mahmoud Mohammed says judiciary has successfully become a political arm of government under the APC. And now to WhatsApp, we'll take a few messages here and get back to your calls. Oludade Abiodun says, good morning once again. I hope the new head of NNPC will live up to expectations of Nigerians. The gladiators in River State should allow peace to reign. And Jonathan from Garam, Niger State says, Natasha may be telling the truth. Now, what for Nigerians is what this person says. All right, let's get back to your calls. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Itodo, the Agaba Ido 1.
Welcome,
of Abuja and Estate. Good morning, Itodo and Gabriella.
Good morning. You're welcome.
My name is Yahaya the head boy. Yeah, my name is Yahaya the head boy.
Go ahead.
High hopes in NNPC as the new managing directors comes in. What hope? At what stage did the former managing director, Malekere, leave NNPC? At what stage refinery, Patako refinery, how many barrels is it producing? Which they give us hope that very soon Kaduna will take off and there will be surplus of petroleum. Price will be able to crash. Only for us, before you go, we see the increase of 40 and another 40, 50 naira in order some filling station. And PDP and other parties, I think they should just accept the fact, not wasting more time going to appeal court or any other special court, because they know at the end of it, they only say there will be no justice for a common man anymore. And so they should just take it by faith. Like one of the headlines said, Kaduna police are saying something about Edo killing. They should know they are Nigerian police, so not for a particular all Nigerian police. And so they should find a way so that what has happened, so that there will be no more tensions anywhere. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's a Lieutenant Senator Obasanjo calling you from La Niger State.
Go ahead, Obasanjo.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians, the callers. We keep fight till we see Nigerians change. Whether they like us, whether they don't like us, we'll keep the revolution by speaking out every day. Mr. President has jet out again, which he left Nigerians with a lot of problems, a lot of issues. A pregnant woman rejected because of the family lack of. See, Deacon, Nigerians are dying slowly, day in, day out. If you see how the faces of Nigerians, the kind of pain. We're in bondage in this country. We are slaves in this country. Slavery. This is original slavery.
Hold easy.
That we are in this country.
Easy, Obasanjo. Easy.
Deacon.
Yes. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing your thoughts.
I think he's overwhelmed with he's overwhelmed there with
all that's playing out.
Yeah.
It just makes you wonder every day when you wake up what the average Nigerian is going through or thinking. And the fact that, we have held on or latched on to the phrase ego better and constantly hearing it as well. But then with all the efforts you're putting in and you see your mates who are in a different climb doing maybe less than what you're doing, maybe having not as many jobs as you're having to grapple with and doing just as fine, thriving. People who have left the country and have moved on to these other countries, finding ways to make their lives better. And it just makes you wonder if you're not making enough effort, even though you're doing all that you know how to do.
And we don't really realize how bad it is until, you actually speak to people who do not probably earn as much as the little that you even earn. You find a lot of Nigerians who are actually feeling the heat of the instability in the economy, in Nigeria's economy right now. It is so sad, and sometimes it makes you wonder if this change that we seek, that we have been seeking for years now, would actually happen, if it would actually come.
And what's the change? I mean, if you ask the average person, what exactly do you want for yourself?
And it's so crazy that this change we even talk about are basic things. People just want stability in power supply. People want security, basic level of security for lives and property. People want electricity. People want clean water. People want access to quality healthcare. I mean, look at the story that's been trending since yesterday of the pregnant woman who lost her life because the hospital refused to, attend to her if they did not, make some deposits. People want access to quality healthcare. As basic as these things sound, they are still a need in Nigeria, irrespective of the amount of money that has been pumped in, year out. We have budgets that have been, every single year we have an increment in the budget, the Nigerian budget. And we also have the budget being padded every now and then within that same year. What happens to all of those monies? What is so challenging in all of these sectors to ensure that people enjoy some level of quality access to these things?
That's the question you should ponder on.
Yeah, it's just a lot to deal with.
Do you know what you want? And if you do know what you want, are you honest about getting that thing? Really important. But let's get back to your thoughts, shall we? Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Can you speak up so we can hear you? Good. How are you?
Angel, good morning. My name is Mrs. Omeza.
Mrs. Omeza, good morning. Can you please speak up a little bit louder?
Are you okay? Do you need some coffee or tea?
People with the energy, they feel speak loud now because if I shout finish, where will I get water to drink?
Oh, my days.
It's as serious as that. But when you talk, people will think you are exaggerating. A friend bought egg yesterday, 700 naira. And he just used knife to cut the egg into two and saw that it was half egg that was inside. He was like angry. I say, manage it. One egg is 250. He said, but I bought the egg close to 1,000 naira. There should be written full egg, 1,000 naira. Then half egg, maybe 500 or 700. I say, please, it's too like wahala. But that's the situation of things. The person baking the egg, she too, you would think she's selling it expensive. At the end of the day, she will go home with nothing. Granite is expensive, flour is expensive, firewood, charcoal, everything is expensive. Now, you're talking, I heard my elder brother, Malam Abubakar, talking about a woman that passed on, trying to bring life forth. But the one where we hear, I want to tell you, we don't have stratification in Nigeria. That issue of having top, middle, and lower class is not there again. People that you think are earning close to 300,000, some of them, their wives put to bed at home. I am not exaggerating. Some will get a nurse to come assist in delivering the baby. Some will go to the hospital. The moment they tell them it's going to be CS and this amount is to be paid, you know what they do? Because I'm telling you, some will go to either Mama Agbo or traditional people, or they go to a nurse to help them deliver the baby. You can imagine a certified doctor will tell you that, ma, you cannot give birth to this baby. It's either the baby is too big or not well position, one thing or the other. Then you now take it or they go to prayer home. It's fine. Yes, because you read the news that native doctors, we should look into the activities of native doctors. You know, we have herbalists. Those ones are specialized in, they read roots, leaves, and give it to you. Those ones, we don't have issue with them. But the activities of all these native doctors, some will disguise to be working as a religion person. I don't call anyone. But at the under of it, they are doing fetish things. It's becoming an unbecoming thing. So, ma, you know what I'm talking of. Do you know the pain a woman will go through trying to bring forth a life? Now, because you don't have the means, you agree with your husband. They will leave their properties in the hospital. Ask people working in the hospital, they will leave as if she wants to go do one or two things. Then they will go to. Right. They don't come back alive. It's as bad as that. Mr. President, sir, when I talk, people will feel I'm biased. Sir, things are not working well.
All right.
From civil servant downwards, don't think it's just people that are not, I don't know.
All right, Mrs. Major.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. You can call in or send a WhatsApp message 0700 951 0000. Voice notes should be about 1 minute 30 seconds. If it's more than that, we'll listen to 90 seconds of it. Hopefully you're able to share your thoughts in that timeline. The WhatsApp number, you can send that in 08099 930137.
All right, on WhatsApp now, we've got a few messages and we'll get to the voice notes. Papa Shunamite from Gideon Mangoro says, it's a pity that indiscriminate arrest and harassment has become the order of the day in a once peaceful community due to overzealousness and high-handedness of most of our security agencies after the death of the alleged hunters who were not. That narrative has to be used to avoid other things, but it is what it is. He says our security should do better not to jettison their own rule of engagement in dealing with the masses. And Mwazo John Assisi from Buhari says, it's good to be back again. I'm here listening to you live and direct. Welcome, Mwazo.
Great to have you back. Where did you go?
Comrade Chris Ezeocha from Madela says, regarding the sack of
Military.
Yes, the GMD of the NNPC, that is a welcome development. He actually overstayed his welcome and never offered any lasting solution to our oil crisis, Comrade Chris says. And this one here says, incessant travel by the president is a waste of public funds. Buhari traveled throughout his tenure without any single fruitful result. Now Tinubu has picked up from where he stopped. The former was London, and while the latter is Paris. What is this? Fitzgerald from Airport Road is asking. Jacob Oda in Madala says the PDP governorship candidate in 2024 in Edo election should not waste his resources in court appealing the tribunal judgment. Let the money be channeled to fruitful ventures. No different news will come from the appeal court and even Supreme, which he may wish to go after appeal. All right, let's listen to some of your voice notes.
Hello, good morning. The presenter. I think I want to, where Okwi is going, I think I want to concur with Okwi. These people that were killing Idu, they say they are armed travelers. Some people say they are hunters. Are they invited to Idu for hunting exhibition? Or are we now to travel with our arm whenever we are traveling? Are we to travel? There are more to this, but nobody is investigating. The war they are talking about now, the 16 Northerners were killed in the south. In the south.
The security operatives are investigating, and details will be made known as soon as it's available. So do not be the one who is jumping into conclusion on their behalf. Besides, jungle justice is never the way to go. It's not in your right to take the life of another person. Okay? Thank you.
Good morning, Nigerian. Good morning, Nigerian info. And good morning, the listeners. About sacking of DG in NNPC. It's a welcome development because NNPC, they are just punishing us. And then the new DG say head must rule. Yes, let him start work. Let him work for Nigerians. All this crude oil that we are carrying out of Nigeria and carrying to another country to go and refine, if she tries to stop it, let us refine our oil in Nigeria. Because if we refine this oil in Nigeria, we have many things to produce, like bitumen, engine oil, grease, fuel, kerosene, and many other things that will come out of that crude oil. But if we carry that crude oil to outside to go and refine, it's a waste to Nigeria. We only have petrol and diesel and kerosene. Oh, fine. But the other, like this, all these things, that is loose. It is loose for us. So let's first refine our crude oil.
All right, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, Randy. There are other products that come out of the refining of crude oil in Nigeria as well. But let's get back to more of your reactions. You can send a WhatsApp message or calling as well. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja. You can catch up on the headlines, which is what we're doing right now, and getting your reactions. Good morning.
Good morning, Dickin Itodo. Good morning, Gabriella.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Yes, I remember I'm Mustafa Bakar Ali Ake Dan Ali Babang Ali.
Go ahead.
I'm calling outside Abuja. Well, I truly want to commend the action of the governor of Edo State over the killings of my brothers from Kano. And I want to reiterate a fact. Guys, it was established that they were coming all the way from Port Harcourt. And the journey between Port Harcourt to Uromi will last at least 5 hours. Nobody can tell me that they did not pass any security check before they got to Uromi. That's number one. Number two, I have never seen anywhere in this country where bandit or kidnappers goes about with the kind of guns those guys goes about with. I have never seen where bandits or kidnappers goes around with dogs. But whenever things happen, our brothers from the southern parts will show their open hatred.
Hold on. Bubaka, hold on. Hold on. No. Hey, no, you're not going to do that. Please listen to me. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. All right?
No, but it's very annoying.
Do not do that. Easy.
These are people killed and burnt alive. They were kidnappers. Will those guys kill them that way? They will open fire. But they respected. They were ready to follow the rules. Why not hand them over to the police?
All right, thank you.
That is the appropriate thing to have been done.
All right.
Hand them over. If they're kidnappers, everybody will know they're kidnappers. Will kidnappers enter somebody's truck in the afternoon? Is that how they enter anytime in North? Kidnapper that is moving with ordinary gun, the hunter's gun, not AK-47 or AK-49. Please.
All right.
All right, Abubakar, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Move on to somebody else right now. Good morning.
Good morning, King Itodo.
Welcome, sir.
Itodo, my name is Omar.
Go ahead, Omar.
I'm speaking from Lugbe.
Go ahead.
Good morning to my very good friend, Abubakar, who just called down. I want to talk about this same Uromi massacre. I call it massacre because that's what it is. There's no dispute about that. I want to ask this very simple question. Now, for instance, I work in Kano. Say I leave Edo State to go hunting in Kano, for instance. In this case, I live in Kano. That's the meaning. I live in Kano. I go there for work, like I go with my guns. I find a way, whether right or wrong, to take my guns to Kano. That means each time I'm going back to Edo State where I come from, I'll pack my guns again back to Edo State. If I'm returning back to Kano, I do the same thing. Like I find a way to carry the guns to that side because I like I said earlier, this thing should be condemned by every right-thinking person. If you have your head thinking, working, you should condemn that act. It's very, very bad.
What act are you referring to exactly?
Pardon?
What act are you referring to exactly? So we're setting...
The killing of the guys, the killing in Romeo, of course. Now.
Okay, all right.
It's a bad one. It's a bad one. It's not justified, and you can't justify it at any level. But we try to look at what really happened, what transpired. You know, having them with so much money in the vehicle, with these guns, with this amount of guns. The gun, not be one, not be 10. You're much more than 20. You understand?
So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do, okay? Because there are various speculations that have been flying around as to what played out, what happened, various accounts as to what could have been done differently. But the thing is, the security agencies are on top of the matter. They are investigating, and the hope is that once they are done with that, in good time, we would have an idea of the clear picture, an account as to how this played out. We've constantly put out there that jungle justice is not the way to go. Taking the life of another citizen is not the way to go. And just because somebody from one part of the country does something wrong, it doesn't mean that everybody who comes from that part of the country should be labeled as sort. Everyone should be giving a listening ear a chance to prove who they really are. I think at this point in time, as a country and as a people, we should focus on coming together as one. We all want the same thing, which is the growth, the progress of the nation. But when we find these loopholes that tend to make us go apart, fight each other, how then would we achieve a Nigeria of our dreams? How then would we achieve a Nigeria that we want our children to live in? So let's be very, in sharing our thoughts, mindful of the words we use, of the language we use. Be certain that whatever fact you're sharing is the right thing, not because you've gotten so emotional about the conversation that you tend to want to tear everybody apart in a bid to make your point.
All right, let's move on to some of your comments and then some voice notes on WhatsApp. This one here says, the president jets out on a working visit to France yet again. What for? Why? Where has it ever happened? 14 days. Of what gain will such a visit be to us? What has been the gains of such similar visits since he started embarking on these visits to other countries for that matter? Questions, and questions. I think while it's within the presidential right to embark on any form of visits to any country of choice, I think he and the government should give us better explanation, is what this message reads. We do have a voice note here, or a couple of them as well. As a matter of fact, maybe we'll take just one and then we'll get back to your messages.
Good morning, Nigeria Info. My name is Kenneth, who's calling from Gwarimpa. The president have just went out for holiday, say he's working visit. No problem. People are hungry in this country and you are traveling out. The other day, 73 years birthday he was doing, I saw Akpabio, the Senate president, telling him that the subsidy has gone, is working. Nigeria are getting better now in his regime. You see how they are deceiving themselves.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that. Opulent from Barry says, good morning, Tinubu leaving Nigeria again to Paris. What are they looking for? Instead of staying to tackle the nation's problems, they prefer to travel out to places where they are not invited. Nigerians are not finding that funny, is what Opulent from Barry says. And this says, as I have always advised, we must remain cautious of the storm stirred by the media. For instance, reports surfaced a few weeks ago claiming that a general was freed from the clutches of abductors, when another report emerged later to contradict that earlier claim. Such conflicting narratives are often amplified by the prince with other intents unknown to us. However, God reigns supreme. Laji Agbas from Ida sent that message in.
And Twitter, Chia Hemba is watching live from Cuba. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, Francis Namani in Enugu State says, thank God it's another Throwback Thursday. Nigerians need good governance, respect the rule of law, and respect to all tenets of democratic rule. What is good for the goose is also good for the gander. God help us, is how he ends his thoughts.
All right, probably one more call.
Let's
and
do
then
this.
We'll wrap it up.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to the deacon and the angel on duty.
Welcome, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I remain my humble self on Mota. Reaching you from Galadimawa this morning. All protocols duly observed. I greet all the callers and listeners of the radio station. You see, very quickly, I just want to make my 2 cents on this issue of the hunters that were killed in Uromi. You see, you will agree with me strongly that when the wrong thing, like when abnormality has become the order of the day, even the right thing will not be valued, will not be seen as the real thing to be done when it is really required to be done. Now, what am I trying to say is, when we live in a nation, in a society where you hand over criminals, clear, confirmed criminals, to the police, and then in 2-3 days later, or in a week or two later, you see these criminals walking free on the streets. Of course, you know something is wrong with the system. You understand? When bandits who were caught with guns, bullets, who were surrounded, probably some of them after crossfire, maybe got injured and then they surrendered. In a week or two or in a month's time, you hear the government rehabilitating such people and releasing them back into the society. Now you can tell obviously that something is wrong with the system. So in a system like this, you see, even when you now see the wrong thing, like now you now catch somebody that is not even a criminal. Of course, you will now want to doubt the system that actually released the real criminal. And then you want to take, I'm not saying these actions were right, but you see, me, I'm not blaming it, I'm not even blaming, what's it called? I'm not paying my attention to those who did the action. It is wrong. It is condemnable. My blame is going to the government, the system. We don't have a system. Until we fix our system, I'm telling you, this kind of issues will continue to suffice.
All right.
And at some point, it may lead to anarchy. God will help us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. 6:54, right here. A good time to wrap things up on the headlines for this morning. You can go onto our YouTube and Facebook pages at Nigeria Info Abuja to catch up and still be a part of the conversation. We're going to break. When we come back, we'll get right into the lead for today. To all two, stay tuned.
This is Morning Crossfire. Wake up to us. Go to bed with us. All day and through the night. On your Let's Talk station. 95.1 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Let's talk.
This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info.